Alright, Knights, welcome back to Brigandine, the Legend of Runersia.
And as usual, stay triggered. Pew pew, pew.
Vayne is on the chopping block here, and he is a Viking, so it does kind of make sense. Alright, so what are we looking at here? He is, well, as I've said, a Viking, so axe, heavy armor, heavy helmet, ring, all that stuff, pretty cool, pretty awesome. I did get him all the way up to a Viking, which is pretty sweet. I kind of like this guy, although, you know, as you see down here, it's just some of the basic stuff. It's just it's a 3D seer, sort of a fail on that part, but, you know, he's got other stats that look good, and I do like that. So, one thing I do want to say before, you know, if we look at other things, there is a feint immunity, which prevents being inflicted with feint. So a Viking versus a Viking, pretty much sort of a stalemate. You don't have to worry about feinting, or, well, I mean, you won't feint them if they're in the Viking class, but you also won't get feinted. So you can pretty much go toe-to-toe with a lot of things out there, you know, other giants and things of that nature. You can pretty much do a lot of stuff with this. This is a pretty awesome skill. I know that there are stoning and some other possible effects you can get hit with, but when you're feinted, it pretty much gives the enemy a totally free hit, and usually also not just included with that free hit, but you can walk around your enemy if they're feinted. So it basically acts as if they don't count anymore for a whole turn. So they can walk behind you, surround you, and then hit you, and then now you're super pincered and stuck. Because the reason that this is important right here is because if you're going to stay out in the center and do this particular skill called Disaster Swing, you don't want to be perfectly surrounded all the time, every time, if you can help it, because there's no self-heals with the Viking class. It's just a big brawling class, really, essentially. But let's talk about Vayne's profile here. His male, age 29, Viking, known as the Mad Dog of Angela. He once slaughtered countless enemies during a battle near the border with Runersia, despite a serious injury. This crazed fighter completely loses himself during a battle, relying on his instincts to help him survive at any cost. Though he boasts loudly of his brave feats in the taverns he frequents, the truth is he is haunted by the unforgettable faces and dying screams of his enemies. So he's a bit of a, I don't want to say, well, he's a bit of a faded character, I guess. What you get up here too is counter damage up to S, which cranks up your counter damage, which means that very much like the Lancer class, you want them in the front lines, absolutely. They'll do more damage. It's really about damage for the Viking class. This is probably, I'd have to say, maybe besides the champion class, probably the heaviest damage class that you can get in a game. But the good things that I like about Vayne here are the fact that we got really good attack of 177, right? And we also have like a lot of agility here. 85 agility. That's amazing. Intelligence isn't so bad. It's kind of okay. 74. And rune power's not so bad either. So honestly, in my opinion, Vayne is a really good Project Knight. A really fun Project Knight. He's got some decent stats. 802 HP isn't so bad. Now, the MP is only 140, 148, so I wouldn't really... You can't do a lot with him. It's just, this is like good Project Knight stuff if you want kind of a challenge. What do you get with the skills? Well, you get Raging Crash, basic attack, 145 attack, 8 bonus accuracy power, just normal attack. Fury Blow is a pre-move, as you see here. All these other ones are pre-moves, so you have to stand there for a turn. Unless you get the skill of the Thief skill to go back and forth, you're going to be having to make sure your placement is on par right away. Placement with a Viking is super key. And because they are actually, when you go from Berserker to Viking, you go into a water class. So you go from land to water. It's strange. I like it, but you know, you got to remember when you're a Berserker before, you got to stand on the ground. When you're a Viking, you have to stand in the water. So if you're next to a bridge that's crossing a little moat of water, don't stand on the bridge. Stand in the water next to the bridge. That would be the best placement for him. Just letting you know, okay? So anyways, Fury Blow is a cranked up attack, 250 power. It's massive. It's very much like if you're going to do Power Stroke from a basic Knight class. Very, very good. Only problem, accuracy dump. You just go down. It does cost you 40 MP. It's a little spicy to use, considering you have such low MP with him anyways. But it is definitely something you probably want to do. If they trap themselves, definitely use Fury Blow. You will blow them away. Quite possibly, literally and metaphysically. So next up is Disaster Swing. This is the move I like to talk about, and this is pretty awesome. The pre-move, it's power 120. It's not as powerful as a Raging Crash, obviously, but it deals a moderate damage to all units surrounding him. Every unit surrounding him, including your own guys. So if you want to do this right, like I said, be next to the bridge in the water as a Viking, and keep your units one space away from you. So if they try to push themselves in around you, you can just keep swinging and hitting everything in a row, but they can't get past you too far. Just make sure you try not to hit any of your own guys. If you got a heavy dragon next to you that is red orb element, it should be okay because red on red damage doesn't affect too much. So you could probably go with a red dragon. Maybe a blue dragon, definitely not a mandrake. It would not help you to be standing next to your own mandrake doing this move. Just letting you know. But you hit everything around you, and it doesn't cost you any MP, and it also does not have the ability for the enemy to counter you. So it do this forever, and you would never deal any counterattack damage at all. It's pretty awesome. Raging Hurricane, same thing. The only difference now is that it is cranked up to 200 power, has 3 orbs, no counter or any of that, but it does cost you whopping 100. So as you saw previously, we only got 148. You can only do this one time, and a Fury Blow. If you just total the math, like if you did it like that, obviously you could do three Fury Blows, or 1 Fury Blow and a Raging Hurricane with Vayne at the status as it sets right here. But this is a pretty powerful move. The cool extra thing about it is it has a 10% chance of inflicting faint. That is just awesome. So I'll be done drawing right now. I'm just messing around a little bit, but yeah, it's I feel like he's a good Viking. He's obviously a 3D seer. He's 3E seer actually right now, but he's a fun project knight. You can have a lot of fun. You're not going to be really overpowered. You're just going to be pretty good. I think the one good qualifying stat for him that you're going to really enjoy is his agility, which most Vikings don't have very good agility. So he's possibly the most agile Viking you might find in this game. And that's a really good jaw-dropping thing to actually see, because you don't see that very often with the Viking class. They just have a lot of power, and it's sort of a swing and a miss sometimes, you know? So that's Vayne in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, you can become a member. There's a super thanks down below. Subscribe, all that stuff. Whatever you want to do. Help the channel grow. I'll see you in the next episode.